You watch the first half multiple times?
Yeah, I would just watch the first half and then I'd get bored and bail on it.
That's insane. All right. At Unsports ESPN, at Chris Canty 99, at M Smallman, at Evco Radio. If you want to chime in on that, have you ever watched the first half of a movie twice, at least twice, before the second half? The movie has to change for the Baltimore Ravens this year.
Ooh,
wow.
Good transition.
Look at you. Look at me.
Radio guy.
Wow. I'm a radio guy. So Lamar Jackson has said something very interesting. It's factual. It's true. But it's bold simultaneously. Lamar Jackson, how old are you and what's going on in your career?
I'm only 28. I'm really just getting started for real.
I'm only 28. I'm just getting started. He's 7 years in. If you remember, and I'm sure you all do, we looked at Tom Brady's career over the span of 3 7-year periods where in each of the 7 years he was a Hall of Famer. Now he ended up playing, I believe, 23 years. So obviously he had 2 more years at the end. But his first 7, his middle 7, and his third 7, however you want to look at that, they were all Hall of Fame careers. If Lamar Jackson decided, you know what, I'm out. I'm not going to play this year. I've done all I need to do. He's going in the Hall of Fame after 7 years.
No question about it.
Does not need to play another snap. Is he just getting started? Do we think the next 7 are going to be better than the first 7 for Lamar?
Why would I think Lamar Jackson wouldn't continue to improve? That's what we've seen throughout his entire pro career. Hell, that's what we've seen through his entire football arc, right? From Louisville, Heisman Trophy, on into the NFL. People knew him as a runner more so than a passer early on. And then all of a sudden he evolved to being one of the best pocket passers in the entire NFL. So I think Lamar Jackson, from a physical talent standpoint, has unlimited potential. But as we say all the time with potential, it just means you haven't done it yet. Lamar Jackson has to find a way to have that potential, that talent, lead to having team success when the games matter the most. You make your money in the regular season, you make your legacy in the playoffs. Right now, Lamar Jackson is off to an awful start when it comes to making his legacy in the postseason. He's got to find a way to be better. And with the recent success of Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow, a quarterback that's in his own division, having bested Patrick Mahomes in the postseason once upon a time, it puts Lamar Jackson front and center in terms of a guy that needs to find a way to get his team over the hump in 2025. Like, if we have to keep asking the question about whether or not Lamar Jackson can do it, eventually we're going to land on the answer being no, and that's a scary proposition for somebody as talented as he is.
It certainly is, CC. And when you're outlining all of that, I'm feeling a sense of urgency for Lamar. I feel a sense of urgency for him. I feel a sense of urgency for the Baltimore Ravens. They've been knocking on the door for a while now. It's time for them to open the door and walk through it. It's time for them to get it done when it matters the most in the playoffs, and it's time for him to win a Super Bowl. And he's technically right that he's got more runway in his career, but I'm wondering if that mindset is actually limiting and that it doesn't enforce the sense of urgency probably needed from him to rise to that occasion in the playoffs. If you're thinking, oh man, I'm just getting started, I have all this runway left in my career, does that give you the mindset that you need to go out there and be like, it's now or never? And do you need that in order to succeed if you're him?
I mean, I get what you're saying. But at the same time, if he's saying, you know, the best is yet to come in essence, he's won 2 MVPs. I would assume
3-time first team All-Pro.
And I would assume if he never won an MVP before, he actually would have won the MVP last year. And that's not a knock on Josh Allen, because I picked Josh Allen and thought he should have been the MVP. I think the reason Lamar maybe lost some votes was because he actually had won it before and voter fatigue a little bit. So let's call him a 2.5-time MVP is what I'm going to call him, okay? He's a 2.5-time MVP. What's better, the 2.5-time MVP or 1 Super Bowl win? 1 Super Bowl win, I should say.
I guess it depends on who you ask, because I would say 1 Super Bowl win.
I would too, when you're that good. CC? 1 Super Bowl, like if he wins 1 Super Bowl and no MVPs over the next 7 years, is that better than his previous 7 years? I think so.
Yeah, winning a championship. Winning a championship for a quarterback is more important than the MVP.
I think you guys are wrong.
In what way?
I think the 2 MVPs are way more important than 1 Super Bowl for Lamar. I think he's already a Hall of Famer.
But that's right. That's the point.
Because of that.
I know,
that's the context.
Yeah, but so I don't think 1 Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts isn't a Hall of Famer with 1 Super Bowl.
No.
That's fair.
No, I'm
saying, graduated into.
I'm saying that from the standpoint of the importance to him now. Pat. I'm not talking about what if he's never done any of it. I'm talking about from here on, if he doesn't win any more MVPs and he wins a Super Bowl, that's more important to him than if he wins 2 more MVPs. Lamar Jackson can win 2 more MVPs. Nobody's going to care if he doesn't win a championship.
It's going to be held against him.
I guess that's the point.
It'll be held against him.
Yeah.
Winning more MVPs and no Super Bowls will actually be held against Lamar Jackson, as wild as that sounds.
Well, think about what we do with Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
4-time MVP, 1-time Super Bowl champion, and we say his career has been a disappointment in a lot of ways based on his talent individually and his potential to win more championships.
Well, I mean, the clock is ticking on Lamar Jackson. Let's be clear about that, right? I mean, based on the profile, based on the resume, I just told you all, 3-time first-team All-Pro. There have only ever been 7 other quarterbacks to have that many first-team All-Pro nods. Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Brett Favre, Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Steve Young. That's the list. Notice anything about it? No Patrick Mahomes. Lamar Jackson has more first-team All-Pros under his belt than Patrick Mahomes. There has to be a ton of pressure on Lamar coming into this year. He arguably has the best roster in Baltimore that he's had since he took over as a full-time starter in 2019. And this is arguably the softest the AFC North has been since he took over as the full-time starter. Lamar has to show and prove. He has to get it done. Now, I will say this. He's 28 years old. The average age of first-time Super Bowl winning quarterbacks is 29 years old. The average age of Super Bowl winning quarterbacks is 30 years old. So he's right on target, right? Peyton Manning was 30 when he won his first one. Drew Brees was 30 when he won his first one. Stafford was 33. Aaron Rodgers was 27. Joe Flacco was 28. So there go the ages of first-time Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, not named Mahomes or Jalen Hurts. So you can see Lamar Jackson is right in that sweet spot. But he ain't got a ton of runway, to your point, Smalls. You would like to hear more urgency expressed in terms of being able to finish the job. Because when you got a guy that's as decorated as Lamar, that has put up the regular season stats as Lamar, underwhelm in the postseason the way that he has, 8 playoff games, 3-5 record, 5 of those 8 games a passer rating below 80, you want to see Lamar do more, and you want to see him be better. You don't want his performance to be something that his team has to overcome on their way to winning a postseason game.
Once you win an MVP as a quarterback, the only thing left is to win a Super Bowl. He won a second one, which nobody's going to sit there and say, give it back. You didn't win a Super Bowl. It's amazing. He's amazing. But he's so great. He's a Hall of Famer after 7 years, and he's graduated into only one thing mattering the rest of the way, and that's winning a Super Bowl. So when Lamar says, I'm just getting started, all that matters is winning a Super Bowl. All right, you can tweet at us at UnsportsESPN, at EPCO Radio, at M Smallman, at Chris Canty 99. Tweets coming in about whether or not you've watched a movie's first half twice before the second half. I don't know that a lot of people are going to agree with CC.
Video ngày hôm nay mình lại đi tô màu và mình sẽ tô những bức tranh, những sản phẩm thật là đẹp để gửi tặng đến các bạn. Và mình mong rằng các bạn hãy ấn like và đăng ký kênh để ủng hộ mình nhé. Và bây giờ mình cần chuẩn bị những dụng cụ, đó là những sản phẩm in sẵn. Đây là bút sa màu. Và bây giờ mời các bạn cùng theo dõi quá trình mình tô màu. Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video này của mình. Xin chào các bạn, ngày nay mình sẽ cắt dán. Bây giờ mình sẽ cắt dán cho các bạn xem.
Okay.
Thầy sẽ làm cái gì quay
Làm được cái này đi.
làm một cái gì ấy
Rồi.
thảo với họ. Rồi nó hay nữa.